Hello, everyone. I'm back with another podcast with one of the amazing speaker I have today is Ramisha Mujahid. She was from Pakistan. She moved to UK in 2023, and we interacted on social media, especially on LinkedIn. I thought to invite her as a guest and understand her perspective and how she moved to other parts of the world and how she's doing. So, thank you so much, Ramisha, for taking out some time for this podcast. I want to give the mic to you so that you can introduce yourself to my audience and tell them who you are.
You are very welcome, Hassan. Sorry, was there a question?
So, just introduce yourself to my audience.
Okay. So yes, as you have mentioned my name before and you have mentioned about the move. So I came to UK from I was working in Islamabad before I came to UK in 2023 for my master's. I completed my master's from University of Strathclyde. I did entrepreneurship, innovation and technology. And after that, I ran for the elections as a student officer. I got elected. I have been working with the union and the university for over a year. Recently wrapped up my role and moved on to my startup, which is Neuroinclusive. So that's a comprehensive journey of myself. I have tried to sum it up.
Very nice. Good to know. So, you said that you're going to start your own startup. I want to know more about that. What is that startup all about?
Yes, sure. I would love to share that. So it's in the space of team building and productivity. It's an AI-powered stealth assessment tool in which we are inviting people to play a game, a web-based game, a 10-minute to 15 minutes story-driven game, which will analyze their personality and help them with a work style profile and a team dashboard, guiding them on who will be their complementary peers in the office, who where might be some friction points for them, where their struggles lie, what are their key strengths, how could they work on becoming more productive and enhancing their collaboration and their, you can say, presence in the office.
Very nice. So, which thing inspires you to come up with such idea and start this as a startup?
Hmm. I think it was because I have worked in different cultures and I have worked in different teams. So it takes a while for you to understand where everyone is coming from. Are you on the same page? Everyone has a different mindset. Everyone comes from a different background, and people have different ways of thinking. They have different ways of approaching decisions. So it's not easy to understand everyone from the get going, and it takes a while, and it definitely inhibits your productivity unless you are comfortable working in a big team, especially. So I think it's where if you can have a work style profile. I have taken personality tests and I have worked with consultancies that provide services to organizations, but it's like a one-off service and it's not something that is built in the organization, that is ongoing. So that's where I wanted to do this, something that helps people settle in and that helps people be themselves from the get going, where they do not have to mask their behaviors or they're always trying to guess what the other person is thinking, if the other person is going to judge them in a different way or how would they perceive them. So it's there, it could be an ongoing part of the organization. It is something that is built in the culture, and that is where I wanted to support people like myself and others who are moving across teams, who are undergoing a change, who are starting a new job, who are the organizations that are scaling themselves, that are going global. So that's where the inspiration came from.
Very nice. And I like the detailed answer. So, you have moved in different countries. In terms of, especially talking about students, what is the biggest mindset shift you have observed people in Pakistan and people in UK? I know the culture is different, things are
Yeah.
different, but what is the biggest shift in terms of mindset you observed when you moved there?
So the structures, the educational system in the UK is very much based on the notion that they invest in their people, they invest in their youth, and they trust them. They put complete confidence in them and they enable them to make decisions and make them a part of the bigger process, the bigger system that runs the country. For instance, every university in the UK, they have a student union and then they have a national union of students. And the national union of students in the UK, there is NUS UK, there is NUS Scotland, then there are representatives in Wales and England. So the people from all of these different nations, they are elected by the students and then they come together and they take part in the policy making. They work alongside ministers, they work alongside the political structure, and there is an ongoing conversation between the, you can say, political leadership and the political leadership, the student leadership. And that's where you are given complete trust to make decisions. You are taught how to lead, you are empowered to make bold decisions, and you are encouraged to take bold steps. And that is where the part of training, the investment, and the talent part of letting you lead, that comes in. That is where you can speak up for yourself, you can speak up for others, and you're provided the resources, the support structure. You're put in meetings in the rooms with the people who are much more experienced than you to learn from on a one-on-one basis. And that is, I think, matchless. That is something
So it's,
very different.
so it's more like the people in UK, the students are given more power to learn and to explore themselves, right? I think that's a fair point. We should start something of this kind in Pakistani universities too, and that is another topic for podcast for some other day. But good, good, okay. So let's jump on towards some leadership roles. So I was going through your profile, and I see you have done a lot of leadership roles too. So, what is the biggest leadership lesson you have learned so far during your time as a leader?
I think to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. You have to
Yeah,
be, you can say, a lifelong learner. So yes, I would like to say a sentence here. A leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So you first have to learn yourself, then you have to experience it, and only then you're capable enough to be a leader. So I think, yeah, that's definitely one of the biggest lessons. And you have to be people person, people focused, and you have to have an empathy. So yes,
very
that's
nice. Good.
what I have learned.
Right. You also worked as a student policy maker, right? So, how do you balance between a long-term vision for students versus short-term wins or vision when you are crafting a policy for them?
Okay. So when I was working in my role, so it was a team of 5 student officers, and we do have a long-term vision, which is signed as a strategic alliance framework that we signed with the university. So that is like the long-term vision. We will have our strategic plan for a year, for next 5 years. We will have, so as a student officer, you're also a trustee and director of the student union, and you work on the 5 year strategy. So that's where you have the long term goals written, but you have,
Mhm.
say, small wins, small milestones for 1 year. And then that is where your crisis comms come in, your weekly updates come in. So crisis comms is a part of your small wins or your milestones. So if something happens that needs your attention, that is where you will put out a press release, you will make videos, and you will weekly put updates on the policy. So I think that's a way of breaking it down into small size chunks, but you're working towards the bigger vision, toward the long term goal. Is that's one of the ways we have done it, but there are definitely other ways. And one of the ways that I have found productive is doing regular team away days. You work with your team and you take input from everyone and make sure that everyone is on the same page.
Right. Good. Um, on your profile, you also co-founded a LinkedIn personal branding agency. So I want to understand what inspired you to do that, and were you able to fill up all the gaps which were there at the start, and what was the thought process behind that particular project?
Okay, I will first answer the question about the gaps. So, of course not. Absolutely not. There are still, like, the market is evolving, the landscape around personal branding, around the reputation management is still evolving. But what inspired me, or where when I started doing it, so I was managing my profile, and I have always been the kind of person who would like to put themselves out there, who would like to speak about their ideas, would like to talk about their values, who would like to take a stand and have an opinion. And that's where I started receiving queries from a lot of people who were in leadership positions or who were in C-suite. And when you have a certain level of experience, or you have the grit and you want to share it with others, That's where the personal branding comes in, but it is very deeply rooted. No matter what stage of life you're at, you always have your values, you always have your pillars of your personality that you should be sharing to attract like-minded people and have your network, have your community. So that was the inspiration, empowering others along the journey as I empower myself. That's where the idea came from. And we worked with a couple of clients. I was running the agency when I moved to the UK, and I paused work on that to do my master's. And now I'm working on a, you can say, more technological side of that agency and trying to build it
Right.
into a SaaS.
Very nice. Yeah, personal branding is a hot topic and my favorite topic too. So, how can someone new to, especially LinkedIn, start building a meaningful online presence?
It depends firstly on what meaningful means for the person.
All right.
And what do you want to achieve out of that presence if it is on LinkedIn? Who is it that you want to communicate with? Is it your future employers? Is it your teammates? But one thing that is key is understanding yourself, your own values. What do you stand for as a professional and in your personal life as well? So personal brand is kind of an overlapping of your professional and personal life. Who you are in the home, who you are in the workplace, who you are with your friends, who you would be in next 5 years, where you are going in life. Having the answers to these questions and chalking out a strategy, you can say, okay, these are the non-negotiable pillars, these are the flexible things, these are the things I'm learning as I go, and this is the place where I would like to be. And based on that, you can narrow down your content topics and just be very specific. Just pick one or two topics to start with and start building your thought leadership, start building your own knowledge base on that, and start connecting with the relevant people. And you will learn for yourself how you would want it to look like over the next few years.
Spot on. I think I followed the same tips and I was able to create my own self brand. So spot on these tips. Okay. What do you think? What's one mistake most professionals do when they're trying to market themselves online?
Hmm. That's an interesting question. I think sometimes people are more passionate about sharing the things they want to share rather than making it about their audience. So your audience or the person who you're speaking to, he has to be the hero in the story and not you. So you have to find in balance where you are putting yourself out there, but you are also considering the environment you're operating in. You consider the bigger ecosystem, I would say, and you know who are the other players, who are your fellow marketers or your fellow beings in that landscape, who are the people you would like to hang out with online, and be aware of that. Be more aware of your surroundings as well as yourself. It's not really a mistake, but sometimes people perceive that this is something set in stone, whereas your brand is always evolving and changing and growing as you grow.
Yeah.
So, like, don't be afraid to try new things, to experiment with new formats or new topics, and be open to trying a bold perspective or something that people shy away from. So this could be a mistake, that you try to conform rather than be your unique self. So don't try to conform.
Yeah, yeah, I like that answer. So let's talk about one of the project which I was again going through your LinkedIn profile. You have grown a client's LinkedIn from 1,000 to 5,000 followers in a year, I believe. So I want to know some tactics, and tips behind that growth. Or what was your thought process in designing a strategy for that client, and how well it worked out for you?
Okay. So when I was working with clients, the first thing we will start with would be creating their persona built on an onboarding form that we will share with our clients. And in that onboarding form, we will ask them about what are the values, what are the no-go areas for them, what are the things they would like to avoid, who are the people they would like to network with on LinkedIn, and what is the, you can say, the topics that they aspire to be building their credibility around. That could be empathetic leadership, that could be work life balance, that could be another soft topic around men's mental health that people would like to be a prominent voice in that space. And based on that persona, we will create their content strategy, establish their content pillars. So that content pillars could be, okay, these are the three things that will make, you can say, like a building. So like that is the, you can say, the main infrastructure of their personal brand. And based on those content pillars, we will have the subtopics for their posts, and we will work around different formats. We'll try polls, we will try videos, but mainly one of the things that helped us work with the kind, or like grow their presence, was make the posts shareable, make other people look good. Other people, by other people I mean your supporters, or like your, you can say, co-workers, your colleagues, someone you has recently had a conversation with, someone you usually go for an advice to. Appreciate them, give the credit where it's due, and that's like a snowball effect that you will see happening at your profile.
Amazing. And I think you're right. The more you, I think it's all about engagement at the end of the day. The more stuff you have for your followers, because your followers are hungry for your content, and the more you post them, the more you feed them with stuff. I think that's how you build your brand online, and that's amazing. Cool, good, good. Okay, you have collaborated with partners from Sweden to UK and Pakistan. What's your secret to building a strong relationship in remote and diverse environments?
Okay, I think it's a very human-centered approach
Okay.
to building teams or building relationships with people who come from a different cultural background or even a different professional background. I think everyone is a human first, and people like to be seen as a human first.
Yeah.
It's very ground level emotions, and your work comes second. If you're like meeting someone, say from France or anywhere in the world, they would be very happy answering a question about their dog first, rather than about an important meeting that is overdue or something. And show genuine care and genuine kindness
Yeah.
to people. That's what has helped me to, you can say, foster good relationships. So be a human first, be genuine, be your authentic self, be kind toward others, be compassionate. And then the third would be, have a clarity of thoughts is important. Where do you want to go with this relationship? Where do you see it going? And is there a value for the other person as well? So always add value first, rather than setting expectations for what do you want. First ask that what you can give. So I think that's been very helpful.
Wow, I like that answer. And I like the part where you talk about human to human connection. And I am a firm believer, even if you want to have a B2B connection, first try to develop S2S connection, human to human connection. At the end of the day, we all are humans. We have emotions. We have brain. We see things in the
Mm.
same way, no matter where we live. So I like that you emphasize on building a true human to human relationship. I think that is the key to success. So very nice. I personally
Yeah,
love the answer.
thank
Okay,
you.
good.
And it's also about recognition. So like
Yeah,
even if someone introduced you to their wife at a networking event, or they introduced you to their partner, or say a child of them, and the next time you're meeting them, you asked about their partner or about their sibling, whoever they introduced you to. And I think that's where they will be happy about it, that okay, you were
spot
you
on.
were paying attention, and it was important for you to recognize that person.
That's good. That's good. Okay, good. What's the most unexpected skill you have had to use in your professional journey?
Okay, unexpected.
Unexpected skill.
I would say, I don't know if patience is a skill or it's just a trait, but I would say being patient. So, like by
Okay.
nature or by default, I have always been a very impulsive person, and I would like things to move fast, and I would like everything to be just quick. But I learned to be patient with myself, with others, and develop that grit and be consistent. So I do, like, because especially when you're working in a role that needs advocacy and where there are policies involved or where there is a public sector institution involved, you need a lot of patience.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Okay, now let's jump on to some different questions other than your work and skills. So I'm gonna jump on to some fun questions, I would say. So if you could host a podcast episode with any historical or fictional figure, who would it be and why?
Fictional figure, I would like to. Hmm, I would like to host a podcast with Harry Potter.
Okay, and why?
Because I'm very much into fiction and fantasy stuff, and I think he was a good leader.
Okay, good.
And I think Harry Potter is also perhaps because I am in Scotland, so it's also like an effect of being in Scotland. It has a vibe very similar to Hogwarts, and because Harry Potter was the guy who was leading the team and the school out of troubles, opening new avenues. So it would
Right.
be, and I liked his personality.
Okay, good, good, good. All right, next fun question is, what's your favorite productive procrastination activity?
Yeah,
Productive and procrastination as well. So yeah.
hmm, I would say journaling.
Okay.
And yeah, I would delve deeper into that. That why journaling, because I have found journaling a very good way of self reflection. And
Yeah.
when you are procrastinating, but you also want to be productive and useful, so you can like write down your thoughts. And for me personally, my brain has like 100 tabs open all the times and like thousands of thoughts running through my mind, so it helps me sit down, pause, write down what I want to focus on first, second, third, what I would be doing in a week, what can wait. And that gives me the motivation that okay, life is under control, we can work. We can work tomorrow, it's fine.
Nice, nice. Okay, if you had a personal slogan or a tagline, what would it be?
This is a very interesting question, and we just had this question from each other at one of my friends' birthday just a couple of days ago, and I said that it will be something that shows assertiveness and kindness.
Okay.
How do I put it in a slogan? Hmm. Let me think of a slogan. Mm, 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 mm. Slogan. Perhaps it would be just be yourself.
Nice. Simple and crisp. Very nice.
Yes.
Okay. Um, okay. You have worked in both Pakistan and UK. What's one funny or surprising cultural difference you experienced?
Mm. People in the UK, because I worked in Scotland, it might be slightly different for England. English people are having a reputation of being different than Scottish people. But for here, it's like people are very polite and they're like very not American and not
Okay.
Pakistani. Like, not going to business, you're starting your day with like there are actually memes and reels on it. Hi, how are you? And how was your weekend? And how is your kids? And how is your dog? And what you had? Like, So it's and the you can say the pace of work is very smooth and people enjoy their work life balance. So you're having your 9 to 4 day or you're having your 10 to 5 day, but after that, that's it. After that, there's no work. After that, it's like, okay, bye. Now I'm off. And I think
Okay.
so that's also a difference.
Right. Good. Uh, if your career journey so far had a theme song, would it be
It will be, there's the song that's coming to my mind. Mm, that was a very popular song. Sorry, I can't remember that. Mm, I think that's Unstoppable. Yeah, I think
okay. I'm unstoppable. Yeah, okay, okay, okay. All
Yes,
right.
yes. That's one of my favorite songs as well. It would be that one.
Nice.
And then there's another song by, I think it's Alan Walker song. I'm not gonna do it alone. So that's
Okay.
very much a team spirit kind of song.
Right. All right, Ramisha. I don't want to end this podcast here. I love this conversation, and I want this conversation to go on and on and on. But ultimately, we have to end this. Before I'm going to end this, one quick advice you want to give to my audience.
Hmm. Is it? I'm trying to understand. Is it more for the people who are in their professional or who are transitioning from education to a profession?
Uh, so professionals, I would say.
Professionals. Okay. I would say what I was saying earlier, having a clear mind and having a clear direction, a roadmap.
Mhm.
That's what I have found is key to having a smooth professional journey. And that would be my advice if you haven't sat down with yourself and have a good think and have a journal maybe, or have, you can know, I have even a whiteboard. It's like, just be clear and just be yourself and you will get there. So just keep going.
Great. I think that's a fair advice. Thank you so much, Ramisha. It was lovely talking to you, and we'll stay in touch. And maybe I will call you in my future podcast because there are a lot of things I want to discuss. But in short time, obviously, uh, we can't cover much. But definitely, I would love to have you again and have a conversation around some other topics. Thank you so much once again for taking out some time in your busy schedule, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hassan. It was lovely talking to you. And yes, stay in touch.